Delia Codes, and this is my first node project. So in this streaming live capstone, or live project, I build, I try to show you as much as I can of my first node project, so you can kind of see my process, and kind of understand a little bit more of what I'm struggling with. So that's kind of what I'm working on right now. I'm pretty far into it, and I'm just trying to get that last, I don't know, I'm trying to get the last whatever percent of it. And since it's part of a boot camp, it's kind of one of those things where it's like, I hope this works, but I'm not sure if this is what it should be, sort of thing. And that's been the biggest struggle, I think. Okay, so, I hope that made sense. You can find me on the internet at Delia_Codes. And other than that, hope you enjoy. Okay, so last time we were working on some of our test-driven development stuff. We were working on some of our tests for our JSON endpoint. And I was trying to figure out, like, how is my data transforming, and that sort of thing. So we had a test that is kind of really messy and is kind of code smelly right here. I'm not sure how to necessarily, like, I mean, I think the way to make this, like, less lines of code is to, essentially go, oh, okay, this result needs to be less than what it ordinarily is, I guess, if that makes sense. So, I'm not going to try to refactor this test right now. It's passing. But I am trying to make this test be what it is. So this test is currently testing our display in order function right here. And what this wants to do is this needs to take the object and to turn it into, it needs to take the object and it needs to turn it into a, it essentially needs to take the object and turn it into the day of the week, sort of thing. Okay, and I'm still kind of figuring out the logic of it, but that's kind of where I'm at. So I'm going to put you on a brief break where I can kind of check and grab my phone, because I'm not sure what that whistle was about. So hold on 1 second. Okay, I'm back. So right now, what we're kind of doing. Okay, so it's really a question of like what the result should be of this function. So this display in order. So this needs to take in. So it's kind of a question of what is this taking in, right? Is this taking in all of the meals, and it's taking in our object, and then it's sorting through each of the keys. And I'm just kind of like, what the hell am I doing? Okay, so this is kind of the code that my mentor and I went over at our last session. And it doesn't quite work for, at least I mean, I feel like I understand it, but like, okay, so it's const input, and then it maps this. And okay, so it uses map and it returns a new function based upon so this sounds like this is the const result. I guess. I'm not exactly sure. Like, I'm not exactly sure if I understand this code. You know what I mean? So it feels incomplete and a little bit weird. So that's why I'm kind of like, I mean, it seemed to make sense to me at the time, but like, I'm not sure why we're doing this. I'm not sure why we're doing, this thing. So I'm kind of gonna keep it commented out and come back to it later, sort of thing. And hopefully we can make this work. So I've got a small little testing thing here, and then I need to figure out what the result I want. So what I think the result I want is going to be the result I want is going to be an array that's just a, and then I want race, and then the result I want is going to be thing. So, and what I think I want to do is go here. Okay. So that says to me that that's the result that I want. And right now I'm receiving an array within an array. So like I need to do something else with this. With this function. Okay, so right now I've got arrayed meals. So let's console log data.current day. And the reason why I'm thinking that this is going to be an array. And so what I probably need to do is instead of push, I need to map over this, is what I think I need to do. And then do something similar to what, that code does. Okay, so console.log, where's my console log? Is it going to display? Okay, so let's figure this out. Let's go. And console log is not exactly something that I desperately should be doing, probably. Aha! Okay, so it's an array. So what we probably need to do is we need to destructure it. Or something. We need to take it out of... We need to... And it's an array because we want to go... Okay, so we want to map... No. What we want to do is we want to take... Okay, so instead of array meals.push, so we want to map over... Okay, so... Oh, this is simple data manipulation. I just need to figure out how to do it. Okay, so it is an object with keys. I know which keys these are. Okay, so let's look at this. Okay, so okay, so how the fuck do I do this? Excuse my language. Okay, I'm a little bit overwhelmed by this, even though like I probably shouldn't be. Okay, so it sounds as if there's two ways to do it. There's, I guess I feel like there's a simpler way. And I feel like there's like a really easy, simple sort of way. So let's look at the data structure again. So it's an object at different things. So what we probably should do is we should probably... The thing I don't understand is he does the value and the index.value. Okay, yeah. I mean, honestly, I think I know why this is like... Yeah. Because the biggest thing is that he should... So what we need to do is we need to take it away. And we need to turn it into... We need to get the keys. And then what we need to do is we need to loop over the keys. And then get the keys, loop over the keys, and then figure out what the hell we're going to do with it. And then we do the map. And I think that's really what we need to do. Because right now we're receiving an array of arrays. And we need to de-array it, really. Which means we need to map it. We need to map 3, add 3, and then... But do we? Okay, now I'm really fucking confused. Because I'm like stuck in the weeds here. And I think I need to attend a Q&A. And what I think I need to ask is, how the hell do I think about this? Because I don't necessarily think that this is correct. Like, this is how I'm storing my data. And what I need to do is, I think I need to think about what my end result is here. It is my end result. So this thing could do exactly what I mean, is my end result an array per day? Is my end result an array per day? Or is my end result, something else? Because it almost doesn't make sense. Like, from a displaying perspective, it almost doesn't make sense to display it for each day. Does that, I mean, because, so it's like there's multiple meals here, theoretically. Like, there's, you know, there's thing, and then there's other thing. You know what I mean? And, so, and so theoretically, like, there's multiple things here. And so it's like, I can put this all in an array, but how do I divide between them which day they go in? And so it's a question of, like, and I don't really understand how to make that work. Like, this is why I'm thinking it may make sense to store them in an array somewhere else, or something else. Or maybe this is the function that accesses these other things that I don't entirely understand. Okay. So, okay. Well, that is the thing that I am hung up on right now. Let me check. An array of meals sorted. It should be sorted based on the current day. And so I'm going to note, I'm hung up on the data structure here. How is one array going to delineate the meals per day? Going to delineate which meal goes with which day. Which day? Okay, great. And, I mean, maybe I don't, I mean, maybe it's like, maybe I just need something that iterates over the object and calls it done. And I think that that's probably the way to go. But because right now it does this. Current day, and then okay. Undefined is not a function. I love it. Okay, great. Okay, so let's figure... okay. So let's figure out how we're going to iterate over a function. Okay. I don't think this is what I need. And I don't think I need a map. I think what I need to do is I need to figure out, I think object.keys or object.something. Okay. I feel like I'm in the weeds here. Okay. Let me JavaScript, and then let's go with for in object.entries. Okay. That's not a bad idea. I still think I need to figure out my data structure. Because, yeah. Because, I mean, maybe I need to just have, like, different days per... Or maybe I have an array of an arrays. Okay. All right, let me figure out Q&A things and ask that question. Because I think the arrays for arrays is super promising. I think that that's kind of where I need to be. Okay. Well, I will be back. Thank you. I'll talk to you soon.